Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Sex Ed project presentation. Our team members include Afa Alizada, Devante Fitzgerald, Autumn Nemes, and Marla Parker. A quick intro to our program. It's a brief psychoeducation program focused on the nuts and bolts of polyamorous relationships. It is designed for adult individuals and couples who are considering polyamory or at the beginning of participating in these types of relationships. We've chosen to focus on this population and this topic because there is a growing interest, especially among the younger generation, and a recognition that monogamous relationships are not the only way to relate to romantic partners. In addition, even though there may be openness and curiosity, there's also a lot of misconceptions and myths that it would be important to dispel. And of course, polyamorous relationships have a lot of complexities to navigate. And one of the purposes of our program is to help equip individuals and couples with skills and tools to navigate any potential challenges. It is a 5-module synchronous online psychoeducation program conducted over 2 sessions. And we chose the online format to maximize privacy, given that there's still quite a bit of stigma around these types of relationships.
Let's discuss the modality and length of the program. For the modality, this is a group psychoeducation program to be offered over virtual sessions that will take place synchronously amongst the group. The program length consists of 2 group sessions that are 2 hours each. And at the conclusion of the program, additional resources will be provided to participants who are interested in obtaining more information about polyamory. The learning objectives of the program. Number 1, to define consensual non-monogamous relationships. Number 2, to explore personal beliefs and values and how they apply in consensual non-monogamous relationships. Number 3, to identify potential benefits and challenges of consensual non-monogamous relationships. And number 4, to learn how to set boundaries within a consensual non-monogamous relationship. So taking a look at some of the rationale for starting a sex education program about polyamory. We believe that it is important to bring awareness to consensual non-monogamous relationships and that there is a need to properly define polyamory. Polyamory translates to many loves. And in polyamorous relationships, partners seek both romantic love and sexual experiences with others. Now, polyamory is one relationship style that falls under the umbrella of a consensual non-monogamous relationship. Some others include an open relationship, polygamy, polyandry, and swinging. And while these relationship styles may share similar characteristics, they often have subtle differences that distinguish them from other consensual non-monogamous relationships. We believe that the divorce rate or the high divorce rate in the US may also provide rationale for starting this program. The high rates of divorce in the US may suggest that monogamy is not a sustainable relationship style for all individuals and couples. In the year 2020, there were 1.6 documented marriages in the US, and in the same year, there were 630,000 divorces. Now, the 630,000 divorces is quite low considering that from 2000 to 2015, each year in that time frame saw the divorce total reach at least 800,000 per year. And the 1.6 million marriages documented in 2020 is the lowest total and the first time that the marriages fell below 2 million since the start of the millennium. We believe that these statistics may suggest that couples are having a difficult time sustaining non or monogamous relationships for various reasons, and that maybe opening the relationship could possibly add a new layer of satisfaction. Relationship transparency. Attraction to other people outside the primary romantic partner is common, but it is not always discussed openly by couples. We believe that this typically leads to infidelity and keeping secrets and sneaking around our primary partners. And for those couples who struggle with infidelity and unfaithful behavior, engaging in a polyamorous relationship may allow couples to explore other sexual and emotional connections with other people, and the couple is responsible for setting and maintaining appropriate boundaries within this consensually agreed upon relationship. So essentially, a couple engaging in polyamory would be responsible for setting the terms of that relationship. So for example, a couple may agree that if their partner is to have a sexual experience with a different person, that it should not occur in their household. That's just an example of some of the terms and boundaries that can be set in a polyamorous relationship. And last is sexual safety. Engaging in sexual experiences with multiple partners increases the chance that an individual may be exposed to a sexually transmitted disease. For those that are thinking about opening up their relationship or engaging in sexual acts with more than one person, we believe that this program is aimed to promote safe sex practices, such as using condoms, being regularly screened for STDs, and also establishing a thorough vetting system for identifying new sexual partners. So for example, rather than just hooking up at a bar or at an event or something of that nature, we believe that couples and individuals should have their own vetting system of identifying new sexual partners in a way that they can ensure that their sexual safety is not being compromised by introducing a new sex partner.
All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the structure of our program. As mentioned, we will have 5 modules. So the first module will be Introduction to Polyamory, key definitions and principles, things like what is polyamory, how does it compare and differ from other types of non-monogamous relationships, key principles such as consent, honesty, self-awareness, and respect. And we'll, of course, include activities and exercises such as role plays and large group discussions to solidify these concepts and definitions. The second module will focus on boundaries. We will encourage participants to clarify for themselves things like, what are acceptable relationships with others? For example, emotional versus physical relationships with others, what constitutes infidelity in an open configuration of relationships, and things of that nature. In module 3, we will help build participants' skills in communication, emotional honesty, showing affection, what constitutes faithfulness and how to actually implement it, limit setting, planning and organizing relationships, considering the complexity and the number of people involved, usually in polyamorous relationships. And mindfulness practices to help participants to know themselves and be able to identify and own their feelings. Module 4 will focus on safe sex practices, which is particularly important when there are multiple sexual partners involved. And module 5 will be our concluding module, and we will be incorporating exercise and activities for individuals and couples to reflect on, what they've learned, how their attitudes may or may not have shifted about, polyamorous relationships, and also start putting together an action plan. What are the next steps? So for some individuals and couples, it may be seeking individual counseling to go deeper in the topic of polyamorous relationships.
There are several noteworthy ethical and cultural considerations for this population. First, there is stigma that is often associated with non-monogamous relationships, which may deter individuals from participating in polyamorous relationships or from asking partners about it. There are also cultural differences. So certain cultures are more accepting than other cultures may be of these types of relationships, as well as differences in sexual expressions and acceptable emotional expressions, such as jealousy, anger, or sadness. Next, there are religious factors. There are religions that allow marriage to multiple people, and there are religions that reject the idea. Next is family upbringing. So a family's attitude toward monogamous relationships could potentially influence someone to participate or avoid these types of relationships. There's legal issues that are involved with these populations, such as next of kin, emergency contacts, or inheritors of wills. Women's rights in some cultures, women can still be killed for being with someone other than their husband or their partner. And finally, gender and sexuality differences. Groups such as the LGBTQ+ community may be more or less open to non-traditional relationships. This slide goes over evaluation methods that could be used with this program and population. So these methods will be measured at the beginning and the end of the program. Some sample questions that these surveys and role-playing experiences could contain are, what is your personal definition of polyamory? What does consent mean to you? What do these concepts mean to your partner or partners? And how might these topics affect your partner or partners? And what aspects of sexual safety are important to you and your partner or partners? At the beginning and the end of the program, a survey of polyamorous concepts could be taken. This could be comparing participant scores to measure improvement in understanding of these concepts, role-playing, consent and communication skills. So this could be measured to understand the ability to discuss topics with others, and also comfort discussing these topics with others. And finally, implementing sexual safety by creating boundaries. So participants will establish a checklist of sexual safety for their partners.
Thank you for listening. Please refer to the attached pamphlet for more information on our program. Polyamory, many loves. There are 6 keys to success: self-knowledge, radical and consent honesty, negotiating and keeping, self-possession emphasis, privilege, love, and sex. Why is this so controversial? Polyamory involves telling partners what we want and expect, being confronted with our feelings about partners, having equal rights to explore with others. Many people may want to have sexual romantic relationships with multiple people, but they resist the impulse. From this perspective, polyamory may seem indulgent or greedy and not readily accepted by society. As we source polyamory, we are challenged to confront our fears, jealousy, and insecurity. Polyamory refers to living a responsible, non-monogamous love style involving more than one partner, openly with the knowledge and consent of all involved. There are many skill sets and tools that you would need to learn in order to be successful. Please remember, do not jump into polyamory without serious consideration and coaching. Polyamory can be a problem-creating lifestyle if you don't do it mindfully. However, polyamory can bring many opportunities for positive interpersonal relationship and growth. Polyamory can be a lot like committed monogamous relationships, but just with more people than one person at the time. It is just with more people, with love that abounds. If you are curious about polyamory and would like to learn more about the skills and tools to make it a success, please join our confidential online training program on June 18th and June 19th. For more information and to register, please visit www.sexeducation.org/polyamory. Thank you very much.